Welcome back to A Taste of K. I'm back with another air fryer cooking video where I'll be making Griot Banann Peze using the air fryer. Griot Banann Peze is a Haitian dish which is basically fried pork shoulder chunks as well as fried plantain. Stay tuned. The ingredients I'll be using is 4 to 5 pounds of pork shoulder, which I've cut into cubes. I cleaned it with salt, lime, vinegar, as well as boiling water. I'll marinate it with 2 tablespoons of épices, 1 packet bouillon powder, ground cloves, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, lime, thyme, habanero pepper, and 1 cup of boiling water. For the plantains, I'm going to be using green and semi-ripe plantains, as well as salt and olive oil. Here's a closer look of all the ingredients. I purchased the pork shoulder from my local meat market, and I did have the butcher cut it into medium-sized pieces. I cleaned it with salt, lime, as well as vinegar, and I allow it to sit in that citrus marinade for about 5 minutes. After, I poured hot boiling water on it, and I allow it to sit for additional 5 minutes before draining. Here to season, I'm going to use bouillon powder, which is 1 packet. I'm going to use thyme, habanero pepper, épices, ground cloves, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, as well as the juice of 1 lime. After I added the seasoning, I'm going to mix until everything is well combined, and I allow this to sit for about an hour just so the meat could really marinate in this seasoning. While I allow the meat to marinate, I'm going to start to prep the plantains. I have a green plantain, 1 semi-ripe plantain, as well as 2 ripe plantains. In the past, I've made a video where I show you how I fry the green plantain as well as the ripe plantain, also known as banann peze. I'll add that link to the description box below. But in today's video, instead of deep frying in oil, I'm going to fry it in the air fryer. What I'm doing here is removing the peel of the plantain, and then I'll go ahead and slice it on an angle. What I'm showing you here is that the green plantain, I sliced it a little thinner compared to the ripe plantain, since the ripe plantain won't need much time to cook. In a bowl, I added the green plantain as well as the semi-ripe plantain. In a separate bowl, I added both of the ripe plantain. I have some water. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, the same lime that I used to marinate the meat. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze the remainder juice of the lime into that, as well as some salt. This is going to help give the plantain some flavor since I won't be frying it. Even though I'm calling this an air fryer cooking video, I'm going to first parboil the meat on the stove. What I'm doing is, in a pot that has been heated, I'm not adding any additional oil. I'm going to add my meat. The reason I'm not adding any additional oil, because once the meat starts to cook, it will start to release its own oil as well as liquid. I have the temperature set to medium high. I'm going to place a lid and allow this to cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm also going to place 1 to 2 cups of water in a separate pot and allow that water to boil. Because once I'm done uncovering this after the 5 to 10 minutes, if it doesn't have enough liquid, I'm going to add 1 cup of boiling water to the meat. This is after 10 minutes that the meat has been cooking on medium high. As you can see, it did render some water, but I need enough liquid in here to allow it to cook all the way through. I went ahead and I added 1 cup of boiling water. I cover it and I allow it to cook for about 20 more minutes. After a total of 30 to 35 minute cooking on medium high, the meat is now tender enough, it is cooked through, and I'm ready to air fry it. If I was going to deep fry it, all I'll do is remove it from this liquid and it'll be ready to deep fry. I preheated my air fryer using the preheat option. The air fryer I have to preheat, it's on 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 minutes. Once it is done preheating, I'm going to add the meat to the air fryer basket. I have it set to 380 degrees for 25 minutes, but it won't take the entire 25 minutes to get it the golden brown color that I need. When I first placed the meat in the pot, I did state that I do not add any additional oil to the pot since the meat would render its own fat. This is what is left in the pot after removing the meat after it was done cooking. Just because you see it's fat, don't mean that you have to throw this away. This can be the base to make a sauce. It can also be used when making rice and beans. With my air fryer set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, this took about 5 to 7 minutes to get this nice golden brown color. Using the same air fryer basket, as you can see, I am not going to clean it. I'm just going to place the green plantains. I'll do that first. I'll try not to overlap, and I'll place it in the air fryer on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll allow this to cook for about 7 to 10 minutes. This is how the green plantains look after being in the air fryer for about 7 to 10 minutes. As you can see, I can easily pierce it with a fork. I'm going to use the flat side of the mallet to press the plantain. After I'm done pressing the plantain, I'm going to place it back in the air fryer for maybe 5 minutes just so it can get crispy. This is similar to when you're actually deep frying the plantain. You fry it a first time, you press it, and then you fry it a second time so it can get extra crispy on the outside while the inside is a nice creamy texture. Now moving on to the semi-ripe as well as the ripe plantain. I'm going to use the same steps that I used when I did the green plantain. The only difference is with the semi-ripe as well as the ripe plantain, I did cut them on the thicker side and it's going to need less time to cook. But once it's done cooking, I'm going to press it with the smooth side of the mallet. I'm going to place it back into the air fryer and allow it to cook for additional, I'll say 3 to 5 minutes. If you made it this far into the video and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now, and don't forget to share with your friends and family. Now here is the finished product of the Griot Banann Peze, which is the fried pork shoulder chunks as well as the fried plantains. Since this was another air fryer cooking video, I did go ahead and air fry this dish instead of deep frying it. On the side, I did use the rest of the pan dripping to make a quick sauce, and I also have some pickles, which is a Haitian spicy condiment, which is typically used when eating fried food or pretty much any other food that you will want to put pickles on. I want to say thank you for stopping by at Taste of K. I'll see you in the next video.